Welcome back to the Hitting the Turnbuckle podcast, NWA 77 Part 3, Gut Check Time. We will get into what was another eventful episode of NWA. But first things first, of course, I have to introduce my co-host. There's only one that I have for NWA, and that is the wonderful Miss Fiona Lochran and Kat. Good evening,
I'm
Fiona.
Kat, obviously, always here. Hello, darling.
Hello. Hello.
You can't miss a podcast.
The cat never misses a podcast. The cat is more, I was gonna say, is more podcast than some of my co-hosts. Um, present company not included, of course. Right. Before we get on to power this week and the last 24 hours, first things first, actually, Roku worked for you on a Tuesday this week.
Yeah, it did this week. So I actually watched it before it technically aired in the USA,
Yes.
which was bizarre.
Yeah, which was nice. We normally would record on Wednesday, scheduling everything went out the window. But anyway, let's talk more about the last 24 hours. I was going to say controversial, and normally it would be NWA. They've done something controversial, but it wasn't necessarily them this week. Those of you that watched AEW Dynamite will know that Tony Khan announced that he was bringing the national championship back to television for the first time in God knows how long, which has irked some people in the NWA. We can't talk about the champion because it would give away the match that we're going to get into. Irked that person, and also irked Brian Idol quite a little
Quite
bit.
significantly.
Yeah, quite significantly. I actually thought it was his championship, and I realized he's the television champion.
Yep.
But anyway, do you understand maybe them feeling a little bit disrespected because, it has been on television for quite some time, just maybe not mainstream?
Yeah, I'm a little bit like, I haven't really read into it. I've only really seen the beef that's gone down on X, to be honest with you. I don't watch AEW, so I'm not sure. Like, obviously it's not the same belt, or
No.
is it? Like I saw a tweet today that was like, "Oh, Tony said he's bringing the NWA," and I was like, "What?" Like so confused.
Yeah, it's not the same belt, obviously, and it's not the belt as our champion.
But then part of me is like, well, all the companies have world championships, all the companies have heavyweight championships.
Mhm.
So part of me is like, well, why can AEW not have a national championship?
I think it was more them saying that they're bringing it back to TV for the first time in how long that irked. End up not the fact that they're bringing a champion. It's more to maybe to do with the wording that they used.
So do you like I really do need to go and have a look at this properly. So is the underlying tone from Tony Khan in AEW that it is kind of basically without saying it, that they're saying it is the national, like the NWA belt?
Yeah, I think coming to it, he just said they're bringing it back to. I was into the fence because he said he'd bring it back to television. I can kind of get that. NWA hasn't been on quote unquote television for some time. They was on the CW for a cup of coffee. They're on Roku now, which is technically streaming, and they've been on YouTube. So mainstream TBS, TNT, I could understand that bit, but there is a national championship in NWA, so perhaps they could have just said we're making a national championship, and that may have gone down better than saying we're bringing it
Or
back.
even just called it the AEW National Championship?
Yes, and this one is actually going to be defended on the independent scene as well.
Okay, that's kind of cool for AEW though.
Yeah, yeah. So whoever wins it, it goes across all of the NWA, all of the AEW sort of sister bits, CMLL, and all that stuff, plus the indies. So the assumption being, whoever wins this at full gear could technically come over to the UK, work for your promotion, and thus defend Z Championship on your show.
That's not necessarily a bad thing.
No.
But I think potentially what you're saying is right. It maybe could have been worded better.
hmm Yeah.
I understand why it's ruffled a few feathers, and obviously for those of you who have seen X, you'll have seen Brian's comments saying that it's in retaliation to the lawsuit that NWA brought against AEW over
Yeah.
the name Shockwave,
hmm
which I never really followed, but I believe AEW lost that
They did.
case.
Yeah. Well, the Shockwaves never aired, so that gives you the idea.
Yeah, so and Brian's like, oh, it's in retaliation to that, which is really petty if it is.
Well,
But then when has wrestling not been petty?
gonna say it's hardly
It
a.
goes with the territory. Do you know what I mean? It always has.
It literally has.
You
Well, look,
literally just need to look back at the whole WWF, WCW thing and
there you go. You said it all really with that. But look, that's what's going on in the world. Everyone will have their own opinions on it, and you know, it is what it is. Let's get into Power, the third week of NWA 77. Another week of some fantastic wrestling matches. One of the things that NWA did very, very well. And just when you think their women's division can't get any better, we see not necessarily a debut because she's been on before, but Tiffany Nieves, we know she is the champ. She was their champ. Well, she's two belts, Tiffany, right now.
he
She
is
was
indeed.
defending the women's champ, well, not the women's championship, the women's television championship. Wasn't a 605 limit though
It wasn't.
in this against Sirena Veil, her name. So a product from the KFW terror. So are we surprised when I'm saying that she's 18 years old and she's fucking brilliant? It's not
Is
really
she
a
only
shock, is it?
18?
Yeah.
Wow, okay. Fair play to her.
It was, I mean, these two, I've said this for a while now. Tiffany Nieves, I still don't think gets the credit for her accomplishments in NWA because of the fact the Page sisters are there and they're doing their thing, and she's still fantastic. But Serena Vale, she has to be a champion in NWA in the years to come.
At some point, yeah. As long as she sticks around.
Yeah, obviously there's that aspect to it as well. But I think it's nice because we're getting some new people. We're going to get into another match in a minute, which had a lot of new faces, shall we say. She was biting Tiffany at one point.
She was, but do you know what? My first notes on this match and my little book were Tiffany is savage.
Tiffany is, yeah, she's very savage. She's got her vicious
I
side. I
can
mean,
see her being world women's champion.
well,
100%.
funny you should say that, because this was match number 6 in her lucky 7.
Yeah.
And for those of you that, if I keep having to explain myself, for those of you that watch NWA, as a champion of some championships in the NWA, you get 7 title defenses on your. If you're lucky enough to win all 7, you can cash in your championship for a shot at the World Championship, or in this case, the Burke, currently held by Kenzie Page. More on that in a minute. Yeah, you were right. She's vicious. The only thing I would say was there was a slight issue with the knee slaps on this. They were slightly a little bit obvious that they were happening. But I will give
That is
it.
not gonna lie, that's a bit of a pet peeve of mine as well.
I don't necessarily like. I don't like it when I can see it. And there's a couple, but look, I'm splitting hairs, and I haven't got any hairs to split really over nothing on this because this was a tremendous match. However, Tiffany Nieves was successful, and I think they called this the Royal Seat.
They did.
Um,
Not without, before we get to end out, not without a little bit of interference from Miss
yeah,
Star, because obviously she had Miss Star at the side with her
Miss
as well.
Star without the neck brace again, so we're assuming fully fit.
She's fit and healthy.
Healthy and fit, yes. So Tiffany Nieves, lucky number 6 now, 1 away from the lucky 7. Could she be 3 belts, Tiffy, or Tiffy 3 belts?
Well, no, because she'll have to give this one up.
Of course she will. Yes, she'll have to give in this championship to take them the Burke.
It's not a necessity, is it?
No. Well, you have to give it up or not. You can or you can carry on, I suppose.
Yeah.
But it seems to be that everyone who hits the lucky 7 cashes it in. That seems to be
Why
what
wouldn't you?
it's a shot. It's a free shot at the Burke, or any other job, the World Heavyweight Championship. If you're a man and you done the 7 in your respective championship, but got it. Bueno is all we need to say on that.
Well
And
and
Tiffany
truly.
Neves,
Well and truly.
we'll see Tiffany again. I'm sure we've still got to see what's going on with her and Vincent. Is it Vincent or the guy from
I can't
Vincent?
remember his name. That's terrible.
Tiffany, what's your boyfriend's name?
That's brave.
Yeah. Anyway, we go from there to the Page household, uh, riddled with controversy at the minute. The Page household, of course,
Hmm.
on Power, but this time they had a visitor, and the visitor was, well, I was going to say Uncle Joe, but Joe Kazana, and he
Our
was
territory president, El
yeah,
Presidente.
El Presidente, yes. And he was there with Kylie Page setting up the KFW JCP match, which maybe will be next week on Power, which will be an interesting one. But he was getting into it with baby Kylie.
He was poking and prodding.
They always say you don't tug on Superman's cape and you don't piss off a Page sister.
Mm-mm.
No, no, you do not. And she was going to smack him one, even though he had glasses, which she didn't give a shit, Kylie, and I'm glad. But
He was very condescending to her.
yeah, he was a
Take your
bit.
best shot, sweet cheeks. Like that would be enough to make me want to punch someone. So,
A Glasgow kiss over there.
yep.
There you go. Because Anna never come over and say that.
A
To
nice wee Malky. Boom.
bottom Malky. There you go. I just called it
A proper Glaswegian term, a Malky.
there you go. A Malky. Is that right?
A Malky.
Ah,
Malky.
Malky. There you go. Well, she didn't do that as much as she wanted to, I'm sure. But match
She
next week.
went there though.
She did. No, no, she did go there. She certainly went there and sets up this match for next week, which should be a fun encounter. We don't know who yet, as
Mm-mm.
of writing. We don't know who he's going to be. But what we do know next week is we are going to get the Burke defended.
Finally.
Kenzie Page and Natalia Markova's 457,999 for more attempt at the Burke will come next week. So I'm just looking at myself. Look, I look like fucking Uncle Fester from the Addams Family. I just, I just, I just
Your
shaved
Halloween
my head.
costume for next year sorted?
Yeah, I was a bit late, a week late to the party, just because I've just had a shave, and yeah, I just realised that I'm looking a bit pale. I need a holiday.
Yeah, don't we
Yeah,
all?
yeah. More on that in a little while as well. Anyway, so we go from the Burke, which is going to be a fantastic match next week on NWA Power.
I'm actually looking forward to that.
I'm really looking forward to seeing it. I'm pissed we didn't get to see Kenzie at the Crockett Cup for obvious reasons. The match against Natalia Neidhart never aired, or Natty Neidhart never aired. So we never really seen her in a while competing. We've seen her in a storyline stuff, but not competing in an NWA ring. So I'm really looking forward to that. But from the 400,000th defense to an inaugural competition, the Austin Idol was it Heartbreak Invitation?
Heart-Throb Invitational Cup or Championship for the
Champion.
#1 contender spot for the national championship.
See what one?
Definitely the NWA one.
That's just, I should have won this because it's a Heartthrob Invitation.
Moving on.
Fucking hell. Okay. Moving on. Joey Bradley was in there to begin with,
How
alongside.
good does that man look? He looked in phenomenal shape.
He did look in phenomenal shape. Austin Idol on commentary, I think throughout the rest of the show after this, by the way. Yeah, him and the Wall Tyler Stevens started proceedings in a slugfest, as I writ down.
Yeah,
And it
well, really.
took a while before the commentators decided to tell us what the rules were in this.
Yeah, a wee bit slow on the uptake with that one, weren't they?
It was over the top rope, obviously. I think it was pinfall and submission as well.
Submission, yeah.
Yeah, there are lots of lariats in this. We'll get into that as we move along. Mario Padua was next in
I haven't
this.
seen him for a little while, so that was nice. He's the NWA Chicago heavyweight champion.
I was literally about to say that. A very good start he had in this as well. A good worker. I think he's quite a solid worker, to be fair,
Yeah,
in general, with what we saw. But then there was the turn of the gutter snake. Our
our
good
friend
pal.
Izzy James. Good to see him finally kind of in an NWA ring on an NWA show.
It was. And he didn't let himself down either, did he, in this? This was
He
a
did not. He's your
really.
NWA Texas champion as well, just in case any of you didn't know that.
He is indeed. And he was brilliant in this. And then Wrecking Ball, the four. Everyone loved him, didn't they? Yeah,
They he was so over.
he was
So
wrecking.
over.
Wrecking ball, right? That was what everyone was
That was what they were yelling.
what they were chanting. And then a real blast from the past.
I pop
Plunky.
for this.
Plunky is back.
Yay!
Now,
Your NWA Mid-American champion.
I'm glad you wrote down all these championships because I forgot them all. Really bad. But yeah, Plunky was there. Great to see. One of our first NWA guests, I think it was 𝙍𝙬𝙪 was the first one, but
He
Plunky was
was. And at the time of recording when this match went live, Plunky was on day 441 of holding that belt.
Roman
He's
Reigns.
so good, man. It was so nice to see him back
It
on
was.
a full NWA show.
It was too long. It's been too long, shall we say,
Yeah.
since we've seen Plunky back. In the ring, anyway. He done a little skit here and there, the Carson Drake Aaron thing, but initially, like when it was Latimer and Aaron, he was on there a little bit. But really good to see him back in the ring. Unfortunately, at this point, Izzy James gets eliminated by
By
Jay
Jay
Bradley.
Bradley.
By
Yeah,
Jay
Jay Bradley
Bradley.
pins him. So Izzy's outing was not as long as I was hoping it would have been.
No, but again, nice to see him under the NWA banner, the NWA banner. The territories are a banner, of course, but the NWA banner. That brings out Carmelo Jackson, who's
Yeah, not seen him for a little while.
another one that we've had on the show. I was crossing them off who we've had on as we were going quite a lot. And at
And
this,
Camaro Jackson was slamming folk left, right, and centre. Like that
yes.
was a man that came in with a game plan and was on a mission.
Oh, he was on a mission to win this thing quite quickly,
Yeah,
or at least get everyone eliminated. I mean,
because
Plunky
he
was
had
next.
Plunky, Bradley, sorry, and the Wall slammed the three of them literally within
Yeah,
seconds of getting in the ring.
showed you his strength for Camaro Jackson, and it wasn't long before a discus lariat. Plunkett was gone. Another
At
one
at Camaro's hands.
at Camaro's hands. And then was there another one after that? Another
Well,
lariat
then very quickly, Camaro was pinned by Jay
by Jay
Bradley.
Bradley with
So
another
he
lariat.
was out fairly quick. He put on a good show, but he didn't last that long.
Didn't last too long. And then it was Cristiano Argento that appeared, the
I
funny
love
looking.
his whole vibe so much.
He's got a good look. I do like him. I called him a funny little fucker when we first met him, first saw him on Exodus Pro. But he's good. He's a good lad. He's got a good look about him for sure. Went to a break, unfortunately, at this point. But we did get the news that in 2 weeks, which will be the end of NWA 77, the World Heavyweight Championship match between Tom Latimer and Silas Smith.
Finally.
Finally, it does. And it wasn't Silas in intense mode.
Oh, he was dropping
Oof,
F-bombs and everything. I was like,
he
oh,
is.
Silas.
Oh, Silas Mason now needs parental guidance before we start watching his promos.
He's a pretty intense human being.
Oh, he's
He
intense
was
anyway.
very fired up.
Eyes locked in on the NWA 10 pounds of gold. And 2 weeks' time, we will see that. And I'm very much looking forward to seeing that match when it happens. And well, luckily enough, once we returned, we didn't miss nothing because Argento was posing still from the break. He pinned actually, Jay Bradley again gets another. He was on an eliminating mission in this
He was. He
in this
was. I
match.
think he was hoping for a him and Legarsky left in the ring
Yeah, he probably
again.
was. Argento didn't last too long in this, unfortunately, before he
No,
went.
but Perdua was pinned by Argento first.
He was. He was indeed.
And then Bradley gets Argento. So, like you said, it was short and sweet for him as well.
But again, nice to see him. He was on quite recently against Billy as well, wasn't he? If I remember rightly, that was
Mhm.
Gento against Billy. That was a decent match as well. And then Lockjaw Jake, LJ. Lockjaw Jake, was it Lockjaw Jake or Lockjaw Drake?
Lockjaw Drake
The cousin LJ from Carson Drake. He come in, and
from
then Frank.
last week, wasn't it? Yeah.
Yeah, and then because he was on the phone, wasn't he? Said I can give him a shot in the championship in the match, but I can't give him the title shot. But then Frank Stone is in.
Another NWA Texas boy.
Another NW again unfortunately wasn't lasting too long in this, but still good to see him in there. Good to see him get it. And then it went to another fucking break.
Yeah, just on that note, it's about
Yes.
Stone. It was Legarsky that eliminated him.
It was, yes, my apologies. I hadn't written that written down. I had another fucking break written down um, during this. And that break was Carson Drake laughing, the slime balls laughing because they're rich, apparently.
Okay.
Yeah. And then Hammerstone, who basically says he could hang with anyone in the NWA and wants to know who's next, pretty much.
I'd quite like to see some more of him.
Oh, I would do, but at the moment, nobody, because I haven't seen him announced for any of the other shows that we've that have been taped since. So
No.
no one is next for Hammer. And then, as we come back from the break, Dante Casanova enters the fray,
The Exodus Pro NWA Midwest Heavyweight Champion.
the one that I get wrong quite
Yeah.
often.
That's why I
Speaking of,
wrote it down just in case.
well, you're
Don't
going
say
to
I'm
need
not good
that.
to you.
You will need that in a couple of hours at time of
I
recording.
know, I know.
Indeed, interviewing that very man himself, late one over here in the UK. And with me saying that on air means I've got the nod because I was saying you before and I was seeing if he was having. Yes, the answer to that question. Charlie Adams. I've never seen him yet.
Mm-mm. A
Nope.
new one for me.
First time. He again he
Again,
did
didn't last long.
no Lockjaw, I think, done that one, wasn't it? Was it
No,
or no, it was
Casanova.
Dante. Sorry,
Yeah.
it was like a hidden blade type finisher. Was in that one. At this point, my writing gets really bad.
And then you've got Argento went over the top rope, but he was clinging on for dear life
Yes, he was. He was holding on for grim death, wasn't he?
and managed to get back in the ring. But then so shortly soon after that was Legursky as well.
Yeah,
Legursky was hanging on like I
everyone.
don't know, like a hanging on thing, basically.
Yeah. And then, right, who got eliminated next? Because my writing's
Well,
terrible.
though it was Legursky
Thank
because
you.
Lockjaw and Casanova
Team
teamed
got
up
him.
against
That's it.
Legursky to take Legursky out.
Yes, the crowd hated it. That's what
The
I've
crowd
got.
were
Yeah,
not happy,
they were
not happy
pissed.
at all.
They were pissed off. At this point, kind of Tyler Stevens is kind of, I think he's outside the ring. He's not eliminated, but he's
Yeah.
outside.
There's only the
Lockjaw,
three of them left at this point. It's only
yeah,
Casanova, Lockjaw, and Tyler.
there is. Lockjaw and Dante were slugging it out for a bit. Um, and then Tyler Stevens kind of sneaks in on this one. Well, the Lockjaw, I
He
think,
eliminates,
goes.
well, I was going to say he eliminates Casanova
Yeah,
to
he
leave
did.
him and Lockjaw.
Yes. And then defeats Lockjaw. So the Wall, Tyler Stevens, who I'm assuming now is an NWA regular or soon to be regular, is now number
Or
one
maybe a seasonal.
or a seasonal. It is now number one contender.
So
Uh,
I wonder when that's going to take place.
don't know. Do not know. What we do know is the National Heavyweight Championship match is next. But before we get to that, Mondo is posing in the mirror. He's intense as ever. Gut check time. And then Aaron Stevens creeps behind
Hmm.
Mondo. What's he playing at, Stevens? He's
I
everywhere at the
don't
minute.
know. I would love to have another chat with that man and find out what's going on in that mind of his.
I'll try and sort that out. Let's see if we can get him on for another chat, so to speak. But he was behind Carson Drake, Mondo. He's lost, obviously. BFT seemed to he's out of that kind of picture now. So we'll see where he is with that. And then once again, we can't get through another episode of without having our heartstrings torn to bits. Colby Carino, a spinal fracture.
Yeah.
He said it started 2 years ago. His body was starting to go numb and bits and pieces, and then all of a sudden he gets rushed to the emergency room, and all this stuff has happened. He's had the surgery. It was such a hard watch. Listening to
Yeah,
him,
because wrestling's been his entire life, and then he said it in the promo himself. His entire career has been wrestling. He provides for his family with wrestling, and now it's not there. But he says he's coming back.
says he is, and I hope.
I
Well, I
don't know
hope.
how I feel about that. That's scary.
It's a scary feeling, isn't it? Especially after, everything that he's gone through to then, want to, I mean, he wants to come back. I mean, it's not like he's being forced to. He wants to do that. Doesn't know anything else was what he was pretty much saying. As you rightfully said, he provides for his family via wrestling and he can't do that And I mean, we don't know the timetable or the time frame for a return, but yeah, it was a heart wrencher that one. I
Yeah.
hated it. Obviously we've seen pictures since. Look, I mean, I don't know if he's okay, but he looked. Assuming those were pictures of recent times, the neck brace was off, so hopefully that's
Yeah.
a good sign. But geez, that was bloody hell. What a tough one that one. Now the main event time. Mims defending the national champion. That's just now with everything that's happened. It's just made national championship against Mondo. Aaron is at ringside. Black G's is also them two. You might as well just had them to have a match
Yeah.
because
Would have been fun.
they were getting into it. Mondo was in control for most of this, for the majority of the
And
early
it was a
going.
nice technical start.
It was a good. I mean, considering Mondo's a big lad, he's got a good technical base about him.
They're
Uh,
quite similar in size, but I've met Mims. He's not the
mhm.
tallest human being in the world. So I was trying to
No.
work out kind of Mondo's obviously not the
5'6",
tallest
I
human
think.
being in the world either.
Mm.
So I'm not sure what size they are, but like they're not like 6'4" giants, the two of them.
Pretty sure Mondo's 5'6".
So he's shorter than me.
Yes, but I'm shorter than you,
You're
I think.
short too. Yeah, okay.
Thanks.
You're welcome.
Wow.
No, but
Unbelievable.
yeah, stature wise, they were very, very evenly matched.
Yes, they were. I'm just trying to
And
see
there
them.
was some huge chops back and forth to each other.
Yeah. Oh no, there really was. That was a chop. It's 5'7", so he's my height. Same height as me.
Okay.
5'7". Yeah, that was a huge there was a huge chop fest. What was interesting about this one? G's trips Mondo right in front of the ref and he sees it.
Why?
But he doesn't get ejected from ringside. So what it was really I was like, oh, okay.
I actually didn't clock. Who was the ref for this?
Oh, fuck
Was it
knows.
Jared or Scott Wheeler or
Can't remember. I don't think it's Scott Wheeler, and I'll tell you why in a minute. But
or was it
Scott
Kev Keenan?
might have been Kevin. I can't remember. I honestly I didn't have it written down. I just sort of said, why the hell did he not eject him? Um, then there was a big slam on. I think it was Mims. Big slammed Mondo. But then. This is where it gets kind of interesting slash confusing what's going on. Out comes the Pope. Now, the last time we saw the Pope, he was getting beaten up by Mims and
Mm-hmm.
Slade. No, yes, no, not Mims, Mondo and
Mm-hmm.
Slade. Sorry, he was in the ring with Mims. Mims left. He got beaten up by Mondo and Slade. So everyone would have think that the Pope's coming for his pound of flesh from Mondo. No, he
Mm.
attacks Mims, which leads to gut check time, which leads to Mike Mondo winning and becoming the new national champion in the NWA fee. What a surprise and an ending.
And congrats to Mondo for that. It's good to see. That means he's hopefully going to stick around for a while.
Yeah, that is very, very true. He's also on he's also going to be on my good buddy's podcast over at the Nerdic Pro podcast. He'll be on there. So that's yeah, it'd be good for anyone to see him. But he was on here before he was NWA, he was on here. So, but yes, he fully deserved. I think he's always been my boy, as you called him, ever since he started in the NWA, and now he is now a championship holder in the NWA. Perhaps him and the AEW national champion can do a title v title match down the line. I can never see that happening, but just
But the question is now, what next for Mims?
well, he's going to have to go for the Pope. I would have thought the Pope cost him the championship, so the assumption would be Pope would be next.
He's what? Has he had the TV title?
Pope,
No,
Mims,
Mims.
he didn't Max beat him?
So he's had the TV title, he's had the national championship. What if somewhere down the line, Pope gets his dream, he gets his shot at the heavyweight championship, he wins it, and
Mm.
then Mims comes in? That would be good revenge, I guess, for
Or he
Mims.
costs the Pope the heavyweight championship.
I mean, this is probably a fair while off
Yeah.
considering Tom's still champion, and we know that there's a championship match coming up, and they're not, Samhain's not aired, and oh, there's so much. I mean, you're
Well,
looking into 2026 before that's even a possibility.
yeah, and if you watch this program on my interview with the Pope, you know he's not at Samhain.
So,
So there we go. Questions, questions, questions. But another really good episode of NWA. These 77 episodes have been great. Next week is looking even better.
yeah, I've really enjoyed these 77 episodes. I'm just sad it wasn't one night because I think I would have had a great time if it was one full show.
Oh yeah.
I
Oh,
really hope that next year they look at bringing at least the big pay-per-views back, the big shows. 77, Samhain, the Crockett Cup.
mm,
I
it
would
would be nice.
love them to bring, even if they just brought those three back.
Mm, yeah, I agree. I would love that. I'd love it. They need to. They need to. It's one thing they need to do. Surely they can sort it out. Surely they can sort it out on Roku and everything else. Surely they can manage to give us a little bit of a treat every now and again for our, just as a thanks for watching. Give us a
Yeah,
pay.
just for me and you. The
Yeah,
hell with
just
everyone else. Although to be fair, with the whole comments that I know Brian's been on X talking about Roku's dead easy access, and someone had said, well, what about the rest of us? And he's like, oh, get a VPN.
well, we know
Shittest
they don't work.
response ever. But and that's not a dig on you, Brian, by the way. It's just a crap, it's a cop out basically. There must be other ways. I understand there's a deal with Roku, but surely there must be other avenues that you can look at in conjunction with the Roku deal.
Yeah, I wouldn't. If they because it's in US and Mexico, right? Why can't they just landlock the YouTube channel down to the rest of like everywhere else and then
I don't know.
put it on
It's
there?
crazy.
Well,
But I have seen on X that other people in other countries have been like, well, what about me? What about
yeah,
me? So
there you go, NWA. The challenge has been laid down by everybody, barring the people in the States, Canada, and Mexico. That is. But anyway, Fee, look, you've got a rather cool announcement coming, right?
I do indeed. I do indeed.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
We announced at the beginning of the week on Monday, I believe, that none other than Carlito is joining us with Inside the Ropes in January on the 8th and 9th of January in Glasgow and Manchester. And the tickets went on sale for that yesterday at 8 p.m. I think VIP are around 52.99 there or thereabouts, and I think general admission's about 24.99. Usual pre-show meet and greet show, brilliant. I'm really looking forward to it. I have not seen Carlito in quite some time. In fact, the last time I saw him, he was sitting in this living room in this very house.
Now that's cool, as he would say. I'm nowhere near his accent, but it's close. Um,
We had him over for a British Championship Wrestling show, him and MVP, and they both sat in this house, not on this sofa because I had an old one, drinking whiskey, watching TV.
that's an amazing story, but the question will be, will he spit an apple in Kenny's face?
I mean, I know Kenny's got his kinks and that, but
Well, that's a story for another show.
I want to know though, how many apples are going to be brought to the meet and greets to get signed?
Oh, that's going to be amazing. That is really brilliant. If anyone is going and for that
You
pro
know they're going to come. To be fair, the Inside the Ropes fans or the wrestling fans that come, yeah, the wrestling fans that come to the Inside the Ropes shows. There are one or two, and I do not know their names, but I know when I look up and I see them getting close to the start of the meet and greet queue, I get very excited because I know that they always pull something incredible out the bag. Something a little bit quirky, something a little bit off the wall, always related to the individual, but not your bog standard figure or pop vinyl or belt or t-shirt. So I am very excited to see what people bring.
well, I'm looking for. Well, you'll have to tell me. Unfortunately, I'm not going to be able to make it to that one. Glasgow and Manchester, though, for those of you that can and travel up there,
Yeah,
please
Classic
do.
Grand in Glasgow and Manchester I've forgotten the Manchester venue. It's the same venue we did Jim Ross in. And if you bear with me, I can have a wee look. That's terrible.
Shocking.
That's actually outrageous that I don't know that.
Shock.
Oh, the social club. What's the social club called again? Begins with an F.
I'm not in Manchester. I have no clue.
Um, Carlito. Fairfield Social Club. Fairfield Social Club in Manchester.
Finally, there we go. The Fairfield Social Club in Manchester for Carlito. As Fee said, ticket prices are ridiculously cheap for what you get. That's for sure. Go and well, ITR. Is it still ITR ticks or is that now
I
gone?
think it is. Or Inside the Ropes Live. Let's have a look. Inside the Rope, even just on insidetheropes.co.uk.
There. Go there and go and see Carlito. And see, hopefully, can you get an apple spit at him by Carlito? We'll
Or
see.
me. You never know.
There we go. Or Fee. As Chelsea Green said recently on a post that she's never been creamed so much in her life.
That
That
was
was
hilarious. She knew what she was doing with that one.
I,
But
I
did you see the tweet and Matt Cardona's just like
I nearly quote tweeted it and put Matt Cardona. That true? But I
yeah,
left. I didn't want to
yeah,
get involved.
let's not go there.
I want to get involved. But look, coming up on the podcast, well, we've just already announced Dante Casanova. Will be very late for us, but we'll be recording with Dante in a little while. Funny enough, I'm recording in about half an hour's time with another trailblazing episode of Independent Showcase with Isaac Blair, who's going to make his Ignite debut in a couple of weeks' time. And then for those of you that would have seen the announcement yesterday will know that I have one of the first interviews. If you heard the beep, that's just because someone that I get my little alert to say I've got another interview coming up. You will know that I'm going to get one of the first interviews of the now released Ridge Holland. Luke Menzies will be on the show. Well, it could be an interesting one, that's for sure. Nothing's off the table, nothing's off limits, is what we've been told. Myself, my good friends David Bartolome and Will Scar will be doing that. Fee, we'll save the other announcements that we have for Dante and get a good question ready for him.
I've got a couple hours. I'll figure it out.
Good. Well, we will do this next week. It will depend on whether you're here, Fee, whether you get to watch it early enough before I take to the sky, or as Mark Briscoe would say, reach for the sky. I would, yeah. If you do get to watch it on a Tuesday again, we will get this done before I head off. If not, it will just be yours truly. But I hope you do because we've got the Burke next week.
I know it's exciting.
So let's wait for that. But if you can watch it on Tuesday, are we going to be back next week to do it?
We will be.
We're going to be here. Let's hope you are too. Until next time, everybody, buckle down, stay safe, and goodbye.